Hello and welcome to my new workshop. As you can see, it is still a basement, but the walls are white, there's a lot of light, I have a gigantic workbench, I have space to actually move around, so it is pretty goddamn great for me. I figured before I start uploading like normal videos again that I would give you a quick, tour of the workshop, or more so tell you how I got this and how I made this. And I'm hoping to sprinkle in some pictures or videos of the actual process of building this up. Because I started taking videos, but it got in the way relatively quick, and then I got frustrated with it, and then, whole thing. But it's done. I love it, and I want to tell you about it. So this is part of a basement of a relative of mine that lives here. And he's allowed me to use it for my workshop, which is amazing. The thing about basements in Berlin is a lot of them are pretty crappy because they used to be for storage of coal, and the houses are like hundreds of years old, maybe not hundreds, but old. So when I got this, the floor was just ground, the walls were like unfinished, there was dust and nasty things raining from the ceiling because it was just a few wood panels. So that was quite a challenge. And I think it was still worth it, because even though it was a lot of work, it is now exactly how I want it. So I started out with plastering the walls. I think I've used about 250 kilos of plaster because they were so uneven and there were so many holes and stuff that needed to be filled, and also because I didn't know what I was doing, so I probably put it on way too thick. But I figured, better thick than sorry. After that was done, I could focus on the floor. Now the floor was just earth, ground. When I got here, there was a small patch of something that resembles a floor, but it was, it was pretty crappy. So my original plan was to put in a concrete floor because I wanted to try and experiment with concrete pouring, but I did some, calculations, and it turns out I need another 6 or 7 50-kilo bags of concrete just for a 5 centimeter thick concrete floor foundations. Because when you start searching online on how to pour concrete floors, there is 18 different opinions. All of them are different. I kind of was screw that. Almost said fuck it. And I just did what I know how to do. So I just put a wooden foundation and I put wooden panels over it. And it's sturdy. I can jump around. All my stuff is on here. That's not going anywhere. So that's great. The ceiling is just 3mm MDF woods. That's great because the ceiling before was also wood, so I just stapled it to it. And then I came to my favorite part of this entire workshop, which is the electrical wiring. Now, because there was no electricity in this room before, I could do whatever I wanted. So I put in, I think, 9 outlets, my own light switch for my own panels. I have junction boxes everywhere, these things, so I can expand whenever I want, wherever I want. It is amazing. Having these many outlets compared to the one before is so great. The next thing I built to be able to work here was this workbench. Now the workbench is joined together with mortise and tenon joints that are cut all with a router and a 3D printed jig. I hope I have some pictures of it, so I'll put those here on the screen. I originally thought I might do this in 3 different sections and then just screw them together, but I figured, honestly, I'm probably not going to get out of here for a few years, so I might as well make it as solid as possible. So the entire thing is glued and screwed together. Compared to my last workbench, which was flimsy and garbagey, this is amazing, and I feel like a master carpenter for making this, even though it's, pretty basic. But I have a ton of storage underneath, and it allows me to have an actual usable work surface, even though, as you can see, it's already, filled up again. Over here we have my laser cutter, and I don't know if you remember the old bucket with pump in it, but I converted that to self-sustained all-in-one cooling solution, so I can attach the hoses, and the water has no contact with the outside world, so there's no dust getting in. And that is a huge improvement because I can also switch this between my laser and my CNC spindle, which is nice. Then my CNC is in the back. That's still the old CNC on the old stand. I'm hoping to build a new stand at some point that's also enclosed, so it's a bit more containing the dust and the noise, but for now this is great. Over here, there were 2 really big holes in the wall, just literally holes with sewage pipes behind them. It was pretty nasty, so I put some panels in front of those. there was a big pipe in the back here that I also covered up with some panels. So that's great. And the other one of my really favorite things about this new workshop, besides the electronics, is this. Now, usually you have dust collection in really big shops with like 10mm or 20mm tubes or pipes. In my tiny shop, I have a tiny dust collection system that still allows me to hook up dust collection to various points. This one was full apparently. And how this works is the tube goes down here and underneath is my dust collection system. It's very fancy for, I have a vacuum and a dust separator. And I wired my vacuum to this handy switch here, so I don't even have to bend down. I can just hit that switch and then connect my hose to one of the 3 ports. And that is a lot easier and a lot neater, and I don't have to roll around the dust collector and roll around the vacuum and have giant hoses, which leads to actually me wanting to use the dust collection, because the simpler it is, the more you use it. And that concludes the tour for now. I'm hoping you're all well and you're staying healthy and inside, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.